Welcome back to the channel. I'm the Lady of the Throne, Divine Astrology, and this is where God dwells within me as me. And so today I want to provide another lecture for you guys. In this lecture, I want to talk to you about how important it is to set yourself apart from the group, from the crowd. Okay, this is going to be a very important message, very important lesson for you guys, very important inspiration for you, for whoever needs enlightenment, whoever needs it right now. Okay, using my own personal experiences, that's what I do, that's what gods do. What gods do is we experience things when we're in our human vessel, and we then are able to teach lessons. Because the thing is, you have to see the difference between just like ordinary human beings and what they do versus what someone of divine nature would do. You'll begin to see the difference. And when you see the difference, that's going to help you to understand, okay, your actions, your thoughts, are they directed toward following a certain, people, certain things, or are you really a leader? Do you stand apart? Do you set yourself apart from others? Okay. Now, this is for you, as just as a human being, how you can understand what's going on in these very, very biblical times right now. So I know that you guys who are aware of spiritual things, the Holy Spirit, the Holy Bible, or the Quran, or whatever you believe in, Buddhism, whatever, in every spiritual practice, because these things are spiritual first. In every spiritual practice, you may hear stories of non believers. That's in like every story across the entire globe. There's always these non believers who fail to see a, an angel in disguise, who fail to see someone that has descended from heaven to come here and make this huge impact on the lives of many people. And I've noticed that in this lifetime, the reason why, because I'm reincarnated, and I think a lot of people are starting to find out, um, in this lifetime, what I have noticed is that the reason why a lot of people are non believers in this lifetime is because they're following other people. I'm noticing that strongly in this lifetime, that the reason why these events happened in the past, even in the times of Christ, when a lot of people didn't believe in Christ, when a lot of people went against Christ, even though the evidence and the gifts of Christ was so evident, in that era, in that time, Christ performed miracles for people to see it. Even though, like, if you're reading the Holy Bible, you'll hear that Christ didn't really want to exercise his abilities, his supernatural psychic gifts for people, because that's what he was. A lot of people say Christ was a prophet. Yes, a prophet, but a God, you know. And so the thing is, Christ did have supernatural abilities just like myself. For me, I have powers and abilities that people can't even explain. And when I show them, and we hate to show it, we hate to do it because then it exposes us to a greater warfare. It exposes us to a greater, like, people coming and opposing us even more, because it grows envy and jealousy inside of the hearts of people. It grows a conceited feeling inside of people, and they want to come against us when we do show our spiritual abilities, when we show our supernatural powers. So that's what happened with the life of Christ. Christ was born anointed, born a prophet, born to see things far out in the future, born to have these gifts where, through the healing touch of the hands can heal people. And that is your modern day Reiki. That is what people call. So that energy that Christ had in his hands was just that same chi or life force energy that Reiki practitioners and Reiki masters possess. Now, some of us already are born with that healing touch to have those healing hands and can do things like this. Some of us have to Some people have it and some people may have to develop that, okay? But that was just like your first recollection example, or, your first example of what having the life force energy in your hands and having those healing hands, how that is, explained to you, comes from the story of Christ and what Christ was able to do. Also, Christ performed miracles such as stopping the storm. When they were all in the boat and they didn't believe that the boat would continue to stay afloat in the midst of a really treacherous storm. And Christ was just like calm and like, listen, you guys still don't believe that I am who I am. I'm the one who can calm the storm. I'm the one who can stop it. I've even done this before, and people see it, but people want to ignore it because they don't, like, again, Christ was not looking like a Christ to those people in that time, which is why even through all of the miracles, a lot of people didn't believe. Same here. I'm not giving the images that have been painted for people. So that is why people find it hard to believe that I'm able to do these things. So people will see that these things are happening and will see that it was me and will see this great power but still choose to not believe. So this is the reason why, and this is what I have noticed in this lifetime. It is because of following. People are following other people. So let me tell you how this great big thing started. When you have the wrong people involved, when you have corrupt people involved who are connected to an audience, like people who are considered prominent, people who have a lot of popularity on social media, can, have a lot of access to a lot of different things in society, in groups, and in, within audiences. They can easily obstruct people's views of the truth by creating things in order to, make a situation go their way. It's like these people have planned for years and years and years to go against the divine. Because, see, when you're a part of a satanic group or a satanic cult who worships the wrong thing, but in disguise they're saying that they worship God, that's just a disguise. They're not really doing that. Secretly, they're going against the kingdom of God for Satan. You understand? There's some people who exalt the enemy over God. So what will happen is, see, ordinary people will try to come against you based off of what they've been hearing about you, but they're not noticing that the people who told them these things are people who are connected to these satanic cults. People who are connected to these people who have a lot of popularity in society, who are trying to turn people away from God. People who want to be so woke and are turning people away from the kingdom of heaven. People who have already, since I was a little girl, have placed roadblocks and obstacles and all kinds of things in my life in order for me to make particular decisions on my path in order for their plan to follow through. Understand? Like, when you have a lot of people working together in a group and they're trying to control how people see you, they're going to put different things in your life in order for you to choose certain things so that other people can continue to follow the same story. It's like a major plot, and in order for it to seem true, and in order for it to go the cult's way, they will place it in your life so that you have no choice but to kind of like choose one of the things they put in front of you. So when you're growing up and you're not an ascended master yet, when you're only in your stages of development, they have an opportunity to do this to you. So, like with Christ, okay, you don't hear about really hardly anything about the life of Christ up until the age of 30. You start hearing about the Christ spiritual gifts awakening, him realizing who he is, starting a ministry, and when he finally understood that he's a God, because when you are a direct child of God, yes, you are a God. So when he finally opened his eyes, and I had the same thing happen to me at the age of 30, is when I awakened fully. So That's what happens cosmically. We have a certain time when we awaken to who we are. Cosmically, we are designed to push that button, and we open up and we wake up to our truth about who we really are, what we're really connected to. So that's the same thing that happens. So the thing is, when you have that, when you are a Christ, because remember, a Christ is a highly anointed person, a prophet. That's what a Christ is. Someone with gifts that are larger than life, that are almost hard for people to believe because of how magical it is. Christ had connections to magicians, the three kings or the three magi. They were around him his whole life and like kind of like protecting him and giving him tools to know, okay, what to do to protect yourself, how to move through all of this because we see something in you. We know that you're going to be really, really powerful. But that was due to an observation of, the type of power that the Christ child had, but also they saw it in advance before the baby was even born. And these are people who are connected as well, who are anointed as well, who are prophets as well. So they were able to see the future of Christ way in advance. But where do you think they're getting these messages from? They're getting these messages from the divine. And so the thing is, what I've seen in society is you read all of these things that are spiritual about very quote unquote prominent figures from the Bible having clairvoyance, having psychic abilities, working with crystals like the beryl, the topaz, those crystals that were given to Christ. All of this is in the Bible. Carnelian, spiritual practices are in the Bible, such as the palm trees, like, during the rituals and ceremonies. There's even a whole entire book in the Bible that talks about sacrificing animals, using the blood of the animal to seal the doorways. There's things in the Bible that talks about animal sacrifice all of the time. Burnt offerings, altars are in the Bible as well. So all kinds of ritualistic practices are in the Bible. And these are based from spiritual practice. These are spiritual based practices, right? And in this same book, it tells you to stay away from divination. However, the Star of David is all divinatory. Because if you're going to allow the watching of a star to know the birth of Christ, then that means you were studying the stars and you were watching that specific star and you read the energy of that specific star and you understood a prophecy. And then that became you being clairvoyant and practicing divination to know all of this. See, your history is spiritual, it is not religious. You guys are just brainwashed in America, and that's just the truth. You're brainwashed in America to just go off of one thing. But that one thing is not going to solve all of the problems in your life because there's a lot of things that are unexplainable that happens that you don't even know how. And the reason why is because you're not allowing your mind to open more, to expand so that you can understand the spirituality of it all. So you guys need to understand that these practices are spiritual. So when you guys want to try to understand spiritual people and why spiritual people set themselves apart from others, why spiritual individuals will take the narrow path instead of the wide path is because these are your true followers of God. These are the ones who truly understand the concept of God. These are the people, the healers, the light workers, the star children, the crystal children, the what else? The empaths, the psychics, the all of these people really do understand how to connect to God. They really understand the concept. They really understand. And a lot of these people, probably all of us, all light workers, all prophets, all seers, all are really, really pure hearted, light hearts, and not heavy. And those are the people who go to heaven, okay? The ones with light hearts, your heart has to be lighter than a feather. When you walk around here with a heavy heart and you're judging people and you have no place to judge. You're mocking people and you have no place to judge. You're making fun in situations and you have no place to judge. That is one of the greater sins. And every time you do it, although you may still be here and be allowed to still live your life, because you feel like somehow you joining together with this cult and you following what your family members have told you about a person and you following this one and that one and believing that one and that one and that one because of what they're connected to. Listen, all of it is leading you back to hell because some of the people you're believing are people with money. And because of the money, your eyes are just seeing that. And when this person comes to you with lies and bribes, you're believing them because greed is involved in your situation. You have a scarlet, what I like to call a scarlet heart, a heart that's full of envy, a heart that's full of greed. Because, see, when you know and you're consciously aware that you're only siding with individuals because of their role in society or because of their money or because of what types of groups they're involved with, you're siding with the wrong thing. And you feel it every day. You feel it. But the reason why you won't change and you won't budge and you find it hard to admit this and face this is because you just don't want to feel like you're wrong. When I have showed you time after time after time after time after time after time after time that I am a holy spirit, time after time after time after time after time. Every scheme, every regime, every plan, every plot, every evil, wicked cult move, every inciting incident, everything in your great big satanic movie here is really interesting how I'm still ending up as the biggest boogeyman that you've ever seen because really that's what's going on. You want to be the star of the show, so you all get together and create some type of like scenarios, and you all get together and create plans, and you all follow this one and that one, and still praise these particular popular people in society because of the money they have, the cars they drive, or whatever they're connected to. But you have to understand, and you need to start thinking in terms of pyramid schemes. Pyramid scheme. You're going to have those at the top who are running things behind the scenes to make the middle guys get into the heads of the little guys, the ones in the practical, ordinary 9 to 5 jobs, the ones around you, the ones that you see on a daily basis are all the way at the bottom of this thing. But these people are working through people to move an entire cult against the divine. Now, spirit jumping is also involved in this, where since there's Satan involved and they're worshiping and praising the Baphomet and they're doing things like this, right? Satan is involved in it. So his spirit is also jumping from person to person to person to person to person. So when different people do different things and are pushing a particular agenda out, they're not realizing that they're falling under that satanic spiritual energy is now possessing their soul. They don't realize that that is what's happening to them, that that is what's going on. Because again, they're going off of what they're familiar with. It could be, let me use an example. Let's just say you are someone who, let's just say you're a woman who is, like married, and let's just say you work around someone, let's just say you work around a real life goddess, like such as myself, right? And let's just say there has been some type of rumors and games going on here about let's just say you pretend to be someone else and you come in and you get a reading because you don't want me to know it's you. But what you're failing to see in your mind and in your group's mind, it's a plot. It's about to be fun. It's about to be some type of game. You guys are gonna do this to twist it to because you want so bad for this thing to go your way. You want so badly for an opportunity to bring evil into it, to bring lust into it, to bring sexuality and sexual advances and sexual lust and sin. You want to bring it into something spiritual so bad because that makes you guys feel so good. So let's just say you work with me and you're also working together with some group, right? And you get like you and this group think it's funny to get a reading, and so like you're a woman and you're pretending to be my love interest, right? And let's say I give you a read back, and of course it's gonna sound romantic because if you're sending a read and you're saying, "Hi, my name is," um, let's just say you're saying, "Hi, my name is Sweetie," right? And my person that I'm interested in is Lovey, right? And so, like, you're pretending to be a woman, and the person you're interested in is you're saying that that's a man. In order to your attempt is to try to manipulate my mind, right? And make me think that this is about some random woman and man. But really, you've tried your best to insert yourself into the role of the woman and insert me or something into the role of the man, just to see that around the workplace how I might be viewing you, or maybe vice versa. You could be the man and you could put me in the role as the woman to see how I think you think about me, right? You can manipulate it like that. Now, let's say you do that. Now, of course, when you receive the messages, it's going to sound romantic. It's going to sound like exactly what you asked me. You asked about a woman and a man. Even though your intentions and your manipulation in your mind or in this group's mind may be like, oh, we're really gonna try to twist the energy and make it seem like it's about a woman and a man. But really it's about two women, and we're playing around and we're kind of trying to use this person's the reader's energy in it, right? So let's say that this goes on. Now when you get the read, it's gonna sound like what you may want it to sound like, because remember you're disguising yourself as a man, so it's going to sound like a connection between a woman and a man. Now I'm going to do my job, right? And I also provide a disclaimer, and I let you know if you are trying to manipulate it, I will know. And today this is your confirmation that I do know, and I've always known since the beginning. I know every celebrity who has come to me for advice and has tried to manipulate the situation. I know that all of you, a lot of you have done it. I know what you do it for. And because another thing you do is all demons expose themselves. All demons expose themselves. So you all expose yourself as well. But I already know, because this is the thing that you guys still don't want to understand. That's why it's important not to get involved with these groups, because what they don't are not really understanding is, because I'm in this human vessel, in this human form, they don't believe that I'm really who I am. That's the problem. Even though they know this, their leaders and their masters have told them who I am. They know this, but they think that being in this human vessel, it makes them feel like we're definitely relatable. Well, we're not relatable at all, really and truly, and we're nothing like each other. We're nothing the same, because the results always show them this. They see it show up in their real life situations. That when you go against the divine, what happens? You shouldn't manipulate energy. You shouldn't play with spiritual people. You shouldn't involve yourself in spiritual holy things when, like, you're taking basically someone who has pure intentions for a person. My heart is good and is directed always into a good place. So I'm always going to want the best for people. I'm always going to want to provide the best answers, the best. I'm, very empathic, but when you have people running around here in this fake society driven, like, cult energy, this devilish satanic energy, these people who want to pull you down to where they are, they're going to come with this manipulation, and that's the demons working through them. I already know, I can sense them. So when you come and you try to pretend like you're someone else, and you want to try to find out information just for your group's enhancement, like you guys just want to feel a little better that day. You just want to not feel like, you really suck as human beings, and you know you do. You know you're going to hell too, and you know you are. But you don't want to admit that it's like so many people are not ready to see the results of their actions. It's so many people that's like, I don't want to see this truth about me. I don't want to face the fact that I've really messed up in this situation. I'm too prideful. I've got too much ego. I'm too conceited to see. that I really messed up and prejudged someone before I got to know them just because I followed or paid attention or listened to these particular people because of what they're involved in or who they know or who's in their family. A lot of these people, you listen to your uncles and your aunts, but your uncles and your aunts are involved in satanic cults. Are they telling you what goes on in the meetings? They're not going to tell you that. All they're going to do is twist the narrative and make you go against the person. And why are you going to believe them? Because that's your family. But you're not realizing that somebody in your bloodline is connected to these cults and they're out here spreading all of this bad information to a lot of people. But all of you who believe them are going down with them. You guys need to open your eyes and see that God is never against the divine. God is not against me. God is not against any spiritual person who does things from a pure heart. We are the ones who are actually saving the world. And that's what's so crazy. You small minded, irrelevant non factors are very, 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 very bothered by the idea that spiritual people are really the truth. They're the ones who really understand all of this. And people that go against that are really, really lost. You guys see it though. You guys see it. You turn on the news and what do you see? A whole lot of people who were once saying a lot of things at one point until you don't see them anymore. A lot of people following this movement, this cult energy, this movement, instead of getting out of this, people are opting to jump on that train. And it's sad because I've seen whites do it, blacks. I mean, people from all different cultures, all different backgrounds, all different races get involved, but you should never exalt any celebrity or any person just because of what they have, because really and truly and honestly, spiritually, no one walking God's green earth is above me. I don't say that with arrogance because I'm never that way. I say that in confidence, and it's because I want to reveal to you what the truth is so that you can understand. They're not, and they know it. That's why they need so many demons to go against it. But they know that demons are under my control too. They know this. God is over heaven and hell and earth. Goodbye.